In today's video, we going on a rant because I think hip hop has come to a point wherein it has become so commercialized that rappers just don't even realize what they're doing, or they do. However, it just looks corny. Now, I don't want to necessarily call out Nav. However, this is the most recent example of, a mainstream rapper wherein every time they drop an album, I swear to God, it's always like half of the songs or even more are features. Let's count how many features it's got. 1, 2, 3, although it's on the same song. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 features on a 19 track album. Granted, it's only on 9 of the songs, so that's not necessarily half, but I just hate when mainstream artists that don't even need the press, right? Like, they're already big. Nav already has Billboard hits, so why does he need to stack his albums with so many features? You don't see like underground rappers or even just people who are smaller doing this, and that's why people respect them way more, in my opinion, such as, say, Yeet. And I'm not trying to dick ride here. However, look, there's only one feature on there. He's not trying to force it. He's not trying to force all these features that nobody even asked for. They're supposed to be like supplementary, not necessarily take over the entire album. That was my main criticism of the Donda album by Kanye West. I was like, bro, I'm trying to hear Kanye. I don't want to hear all these other features wherein then they jump onto the track and it's basically their song. Like, every time you hear a Travis Scott or even Uzi or Lil Durk or Lil Baby, it's almost a beat for them. And so the original artist kind of gets drowned out by the sound of the feature. And so again, when I'm trying to listen to your album, I'm trying to hear you. And that's something that some of the newer artists have become accustomed to, in that they don't necessarily want to give out their sound too much. Granted, of course, they want to get some features here and there so that it increases their exposure, because the whole point behind rappers getting features on their album, we all know, it's to increase sales, to increase exposure, to get like more playlist placements or radio placements, because now instead of just having your fan base that is listening to your album, now for at least one song, and maybe it bleeds on to the rest of the album, you have a whole nother fan base. And if you get 9 features such as Nav here, you get 9 other fan bases, so 10 fan bases in total listening to at least one track of your album. So I get it, he's trying to boost up his first week sales, but as we've discussed, first week sales has become such a buffoonery, in that there's so many people trying to manipulate the data. Now, prior to merch bundles basically getting canceled from the Billboard calculations, wherein people could just sell V-Loan packages where it comes with a free download of your album, which is what Nav did in 2020. So he sold like an extra 60 to 100K, whatever it was. Travis Scott did it for 250K. in addition to his already 250K that was streamed for Astroworld. But now all rappers really got is to stack features. And so my 2 main criticisms are as follows. Firstly, the marketing. If you don't trust that you're gonna sell a lot in an album, obviously you're just not a confident artist. I understand wanting to perform well. You don't want to look stupid in the eyes of the fan bases wherein everybody else is manipulating the data. It's kind of like baseball and steroids. If you're not taking steroids, then you just look like you're ass at the game, when in reality you're just at a disadvantage. However, we should just scrap that whole playbook, in my opinion, in that all of these artists are low-key pussy because they're trying to put so many features on so that they can compete in this first week sales. But if you're confident enough in just your ability as a rapper, you really shouldn't care about first week sales in the end of it, because you have fans who would literally die for you. And along with that, just make good music, and then if you do that, you don't need the features. In fact, people are going to start hitting you up for features and be giving you that like $200,000-$300,000 like NBA YoungBoy is getting right now. And plus, you already have a label budget to get you on all the Spotify playlists, such as Rap Caviar, where Nav's track list was literally promoted officially by Spotify, a huge corporation wherein a majority of his listeners are going to be from. Not to mention, you can take the budget from all the features, which are overly priced in my opinion for a lot of these people, and put it into better production or better music videos. You see all these female rappers, they don't necessarily get a ton of features, but they put so much into choreography of music videos. You see Doja Cat doing all like trippy, out of this world music videos, or even like Lil Uzi Vert Eternal Take trailer. Meanwhile, he did not have a lot of features and still sold well without very many bundles. Why? Because the music was just good. You'll notice with a lot of the actual solidified great, they don't use a lot of features because they know how corny it looks. And lastly, for the marketing portion of this video, it becomes a crutch eventually, in that if you stack features on every single one of your albums, and of course you're gonna do this while you are on the come up before you're a solidified artist in the game, because you want to get as many people to hear your music while you're still new. However, if you continue to do this, then your first week sales and all of your other rollout plans are going to become dependent on these features and marketing other artists, wherein they get free promo from you buying a feature from them, even though of course it helps you out as well. But then when maybe your career isn't going as well and the label isn't going to fund all of these features, your first week sales are going to fall off along with the rest of your rollout plans. And that drastic difference is really what the fans are going to clown you for. Now, secondly, the actual art, the intrinsic value of the music is affected by so many features on your album. And that, of course, we know that hip hop and just music in general has become so commercialized after social media, because all of these rappers and artists are so rich that everybody wants to be a rapper, and it's become so easy to just pick up a microphone, use a computer, record and get an engineer, or even engineer yourself and upload to streaming platforms. And so I get it. It's become a business. People have families to feed. A lot of these artists don't come from the best of areas or socioeconomic statuses. However, as we discussed a little bit before, that I just want to drive home is that when you get these features, essentially you're just indicating to your own self that you feel like you don't make good enough music to the point where the song will perform well without this external exposure from an artist who is larger than you. Do you not want to be an artist that is on top by yourself, wherein nobody else can say that they brought you there or they're the reason that you are popular? And so with all that being said, rappers, please stop getting so many features. It is not necessary. And a lot of times I can't imagine that it's actually profitable, no matter what size you are, everybody be taxing what they're actually valued at. Of course, there's more value than just the appropriate ROI on the streams that you get in comparison to what you paid to get this feature. Of course, there's credibility, wherein if a big artist is willing to give you a feature, that means you're of a certain status, that they approve of your music. But most of the time, if they're willing to give you a feature, isn't that credibility enough that you are on their level or close to it? But y'all let me know in the comments what you think about this. Are rappers acquiring too many features for their album to the point where it's not even their album anymore? Make sure to like and subscribe on the Bob Gang if you with it. Peace out, God, people. Know what I'm saying?